Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet two of the driving forces behind a dynamic law firm here in Dallas that's really making a noise in a very crowded market. Their incredible story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, here in Dallas-Fort Worth, there seems to be a law firm on every corner. And so how do you stand out in a very crowded field? My next guests know that very well because they're making a name for themselves. Elise Mimms and Tiara Thomas with Thomas and Mimms. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Very cool. Well, I mean, the first thing that strikes me about you, I mean, so many law firms just look alike. You go to their website, they all look alike. There's magna cum laude of this, magna cum laude of that,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make you know, like, and trust them. So let's talk about why your team is so dynamically different. Do you want to start, Tiara?
Yeah, sure. I think first and foremost, like you said, Jeff, is that there are so many law firms everywhere. So how can a law firm like us stand out? Well, first of all, look at us. So that's the first thing. But we're young, we're fresh, we're innovative. And I think that the Dallas market is an ever-changing market. I mean, there's always a need for something new. And I think that's one, what we give. And then two, ultimately, we just treat our clients like family. They're not just another number. They're not just another case file. We really take care of them like as if they're our family members.
Yes. And Elise, I know that you do a lot of personal injury work. You're actually catching people kind of at their low point, aren't you? So I'm imagining that your ability to empathize with people is important.
Yes, that's actually where I come in. I mean, since I've been doing it for so long, I mean, I came straight out of law school into that. I started as a legal assistant at a big law firm in Memphis, and then went to Alabama, now here in Texas. So it's good to talk to the clients to let them know that I know what I'm doing. I'm here to help them. And overall, I know exactly what steps we need to take to get them where they need to be. 10 out of 10, you know, this is where I want to be after that car accident, and this is how much money I want to make. And me and Tiara talked about it earlier. Everyone doesn't get $1 million, but what we do is make sure that you get what you deserve from your car accident and from the insurance company. So
absolutely, we're going to pull up their website because they have a beautiful website, and it speaks to their brand. It's young, it's fresh. And you have different areas that you concentrate on. Obviously, we talked about personal injury. You also get into business law and sports and entertainment law. Tell me what gets you out of bed in the morning. I mean, are you excited to greet the day, Tiara? Do you want to start?
Absolutely. I'm always excited to greet the day, whatever that means. Honestly, I'm just always blessed. I always thank God, first and foremost, for waking me up to see another day and ultimately to be great. But I think what drives me is just the desire to be great. I mean, I'm young. I came from a hard background. So my desire to be great and just my driven personality, it just came from the want for me to be better than what most people around me were used to.
Absolutely. You guys were telling me a fascinating story before the show started about one of your favorite clients. Do you want to take that one, Elise?
Yeah, Miss Stella. Honestly, she's like family to us now. She's an older Southern lady, like Tiara said earlier, but I mean, just talking to her on the phone, she'll call my cell phone at any time. I'll answer whatever she needs from me. I'll make sure that gets done. I mean, from her sending us her own medical bills and records, faxing us, calling in just to check in. It's just good to have clients that feel like they can give you a call. You can talk about anything. And, you know, a lot of law firms don't really communicate with their clients like they want to, like the clients would want to be communicated with. So just to know that our clients feel like they can give us a call, not just on the work phone, on the cell phone, it just brings us that much closer to the people that we work with.
Absolutely. And if you watch TV, you see these really big law firms advertising how many thousands of attorneys they have.
Yeah.
And it can be intimidating. You can get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to the personal attention that you give, Tiara?
Sure. The personal attention that we get, I think it just comes from who we are naturally. Like naturally, we're young, beautiful women, we're intelligent, so we kind of just attract that attention naturally. But also, we're just not intimidated. I mean, we both worked at large law firms. I mean, we have friends who work at large firms and they tell us their experiences, which aren't so great. But it was just about us understanding our knowledge, our expertise, and being confident in who we are as attorneys.
Yeah. I also want to brag about your branding. We've got some images because it's refreshingly different. Let's go ahead and put up some of the images. I just love this. I mean, you guys, you
Car crash queens.
Crash queen.
but you're not following the rule books, right? The rule books from Harvard would say, no, you have to have this very stoic look, and you guys project a really fresh image. Let's talk about branding. How do you guys collaborate on the brand?
Honestly, just like she said, just being young, beautiful women. I hate to just continue to say that, but I mean, we're just really vibrant. We don't want to have the old historic look of an attorney. I mean, we're in 2024. Everything's changing every day. Technology, just the looks. Even, on the news, everyone, the best story is the story that gets the people going, So we just kind of want to be youthful, vibrant, and just catch the eye of the people who will potentially need us as clients.
And you have a wildly popular podcast / TV show. We're going to show some images from this. And why don't you talk about this episode that we're watching right here?
Yeah, so the great Richard Dent, he's a Hall of Famer. He played for the Chicago Bears, and it was just great to listen to him share his stories and his struggles. And what I found most interesting about him and then, the other guys that I was able to interview was that although we see them as these famous, superhuman guys, they dealt with a lot and they went through a lot of struggles to overcome, just being in the NFL and to become who they are today. And that's kind of why I named the show Chats with Champs, is that I wanted to interview people who were just going through or overcoming struggles that most people don't even suspect that they should even endure.
Sure. Let's talk a little bit about sports and entertainment law, because unlike personal injury, it's a niche, right? And your ability to relate to athletes, I think, is probably a gift that you've been giving. You actually had a chance to work with Charles Haley.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to that, Tiara?
Yeah, absolutely. That was one. Well, first and foremost, I didn't even know who he was when I first met him. I'm just like, I went home, I went to a Cowboys game, I met him, and I told my dad, hey, I met some guy named Charles Haley. Do you know who that is? My dad was like, do you know who that is? He's like 5-time Super Bowl champion Charles Haley. And I'm just like, well, he seemed like he was a nice guy. I didn't think that he had as many accolades as he did. But after I got to know him, I realized like, hey, this guy is great. He has an incredible nonprofit organization that I had the opportunity to serve as director of development for. And things that he's doing in the schools that we served and just for the communities themselves, he's really bringing light to what I would probably consider a very dark community, a dark place for many people.
Absolutely. And just your integrity, I think, speaks volumes. Neither of you are driven by money. Money has its place, but you're really working in the best interest of the client at all times.
Absolutely.
Elise, you want to address that?
Yeah, like I said before, it's kind of hard to explain to clients, when you come in, everybody doesn't get $1 million settlement. Some of the insurance policies only have minimum policy. Some have, better policies than minimum. And then, of course, if you have a trucking case, a commercial case, you might have that $1 million policy. But what we like to explain to our clients in the beginning is that, you have to treat. If you don't treat, then, we can't say that you're hurt because a doctor didn't say that you're hurting. So pretty much what we like to tell most of our personal injury clients is like, it's a process. You have to treat. We have to get those medical bills. We have to get those records. And if those records and bills reflect $1 million policy, and if we have that, then that's what we can do. But overall, we get the most we can for every client, and we understand the pain and suffering. We try to get lost wages. Sometimes we can get some money for your spouse, just for, loss of enjoyment of your spouse, your family. So whatever we can do to get the most money possible, but it's not about us. It's always about our client and making sure that, they get to the place that they were before the accident. And of course, getting some money in pocket after that is always best.
Okay, we're almost out of time. So, Tiara, we're going to give you the final word. If somebody's watching this right now and they say, man, I think I found my law firm, what's the process? They contact you through the website?
Yeah, so if you have been injured or you know someone who has been injured, then you can schedule a free consultation with us going directly to our website, or you can, find us on social media at Thomas and Mimms and just send us a quick, direct message, or you can also click the link that we have in our bio and then schedule that consultation, and Elise and I will be able to take care of you.
Outstanding. What a great show. You guys are wonderful. And
Thank you.
I appreciate you sharing your journey.
Yeah,
we're going to end with the website, which is thomasandmimms.com. Elise and Tiara, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.